Hey up everyone. So I'm trying to start doing some more videos. This is something that I've been working on for a long time. I'm doing myself a custom made, bespoke, one-off RC trophy truck. That's the progress so far. So it's going to be sort of a 1/8 scale trophy truck using donor parts from some other models. These are from an FTX Outlaw, which is some random Chinese RC car that you can get around the world under different names. Where to start? So I'm going to be using... So this is a sort of a 1/8 scale body shell that I got from eBay that's from China somewhere. It's not really, it's for some RC, some nitro car or something, but I've cut it up a fair bit. So I've used this as my base to do the frame. Now I actually started off with some wood. Oh, that's the FTX Outlaw, the donor car, which you might recognise, you might have seen. So, go right back to the beginning. Put that over there for now. So I actually started to make that out of balsa wood as a prototype, and that fits neatly inside there. So that was the first prototype. Oh yeah, mock-up, let's call it. And then give you a visual. So it's a bit of a mess, it's difficult to do one-handed, but anyway, you get the idea. So live rear axle, the motor gearbox out of the FTX. I'm going to have a battery in here and a battery at the back here, as low as possible centre of gravity. The front suspension, the plan was to go for I-beam suspension, not double wishbone suspension. So by that I want to design this. So this is sort of old style trophy trucks from maybe the 90s, 2000s. Now all new trophy trucks have got full independent front suspension, which is technically better, but I think this is pretty cool and unique. So that's what I'm going for. So I'm making this because I want a scale looking RC car. So when you're going over all the bumps and stuff, you can see suspension working and it just looks really scale and really cool. It is going to be really heavy. I'm using a 6mm tube, but it's thick wall tube. And with I'm going to run two 3S batteries in it. Because the more weight the better. It's going to be slow compared to any other RC car, but it's going to look like the real thing. Because the real trophy truck, Joe, these things here, they weigh like 4 or 5 ton more. Joe, if you want to Google it. So they're heavy vehicles, and that's why the suspension works so hard, is because it's such a heavy vehicle. Whereas Joe, you get a typical RC car, it weighs, I don't know what, 500 grams or whatever, and suspension barely has to do it because there's so little mass. But anyway, so that was the mock-up. This is my rear axle, obviously, which I mentioned before. So I made that, which looked alright. That took forever. To do something as simple as that just took forever. Then I thought, right, from the body shell, I need to know, Joe, where these parts are, Joe, in relation to each other, because I wanted to use these for the mounting of the body shell onto the chassis. 2 flat spots there. You got a flat spot on the sill, and then there's some flat spots there. So I thought, all right, I'll make this wooden jig, which fits into there. I can't do it one-handed. Okay, so that fits into there. So that fits neatly into the body shell. I had to start in the body shell. So then I know that those points are accurate. So then, put that on the floor. So then I made, put it that way around, a master jig. It's not going to fit probably because there's bolts. Okay, so from the wood I made my jig, welded it all together, and then that way I knew that whatever I make to this jig will fit this body. Now there's been a few little errors here and there, but pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Now, one of the downsides is that this body is quite difficult to get hold of. I'm going to have to try and get in touch with the Chinese factory to try and buy more of these. The eBay shop is useless. So maybe I should have used like an axial Yeti trophy truck body, or the Baja Ray Team Losi Baja Ray body. But anyway, so then from this master jig, I've then started to build up my frame, and then as I go along, I'm adding jig points so that I can build 2 of these, or 3 of these, or 4 of these, or 5 of these, and they're all the same and they're all easy, because to build it into jig it is so slow. You know, if I wasn't building the jig, I could have done this easy, but it'd have been wonky and I wouldn't have been able to do it second time easily. But now with this jig, I'll be able to build 2. The second one 10 times quicker than the first one. But also I'm thinking of, the first one of these will not be the final version, so I might build one of these and then another one that'll be different, and then the third one will be different to the second one, and the fourth one might be the perfect one. But anyway, so yeah, and then also I can spin it around and then I can mount it that way. There's some screws that go through here, and then I can have it up or upside down or the right way around, depending on what I'm doing. Now it's only just tack welded. I need to go back and do the finish welds once the design's good. I have been using zinc plated steel tube, which is awful because it gives off nasty gases when you weld it. So I've actually gone and bought myself some, where is it, over here, you can see, this is uncoated, just mild steel tube, which I might actually got a stainless for like the last version. So the rear axle, these suspension links are off the FTX. I might make my own suspension links. We shall see. I wanted to try and use a lot of plastic parts, because when you crash this is going to bend and it's not going to be easily repairable. So I want the plastic bits to break instead of the frame breaking or bending. So I want lots of weak points, which is why I might use those. But then I'm also going to have lots of plastic. I've got lots of M4 ball links. So I'm going to use plastic ball links as well, so they can break instead of anything else breaking. For example, like the little welded tab on there, which I'm going to strengthen, but I'd rather the plastic break than the metal. So I will tell you about, at the moment, moving the camera a bit too fast, I'm doing the front suspension, and I'm going to go back to do the rear suspension. So on the front suspension I have made these. So these are a version of this. Let's have a look, find you a good example. So like that there. So you've got 2 front sections that go side to side, which is these long ones. I might grind these back, but they're okay for prototypes. And then you can't see it on this picture, but behind that you've got a bar that goes from the front of the car to the back of the bar. Start again. From the front of the vehicle to the back of the vehicle, which is this one here. So if I just put the camera on the tripod, that screw gone? There it is. So that will go. And these are a bit of a tight fit, so bear with me. That's one there, and then the other one. So you've got obviously these screws. These are not the final screws. I'll get some Allen screws and cut them short. But that's the design. And when you on these here, they see them, they overlap. And if you look straight down when it's on the finished vehicle, you'll have it'll actually be kind of wonky. Oh come on, what are you doing? So you'll have the hubs will be in line. Can't show you, but the suspension arms are wonky, and that means that these might be different lengths, which I just need to calculate that. But that's just the way the I-beam suspension is. That's the way it works. And with this, with that suspension, you can see that I'll get way more travel than I've independent front suspension. The downside is that you're gonna have bad camber and caster as the wheel moves up and down, which I'm gonna have to just fine tune that out, because all these here, all these links, these are all adjustable, so I can dial in the camber and the caster. And also I'm gonna have links on the end, so that's gonna go in there like that, and I can dial in camber and the caster on there. These blue bars, they're the steering control arms. So I'm actually gonna have two front servos, so one servo for each wheel, and then on control I can program them into how much travel. And I'm actually gonna have loads of steering lock on purpose, and I'm gonna fit a gyro so that I can almost drift it. It'll self-steer and not spin out. So yeah, I'll just grab one of these. Show you what it's going to do like. So you're going to have, the camera's going to fall off in a second. So the wheel's going to be on here, obviously. Picture that, the wheel's going to be on there. There's a link there. Oh, you can't see it on the camera. So that's going to go up and down like that. So I've still yet to design this front end. We need to just put in some chassis rails and sort of have mounting points for this. Oh. Try and show you a bit better. Yeah, obviously, in the next couple of videos, once I get all this finalised, it'll be obvious how to, yeah. So I've got a lot of framework to put in here, like on this. So all this area, all this linkage, all mounting point for this front suspension, that all needs to be designed. And then also I'm going to have to put in shock towers. Covered in grease. So my shockers are going to go in there. So I need to design all that. So anyway, a bit of a sort of 15-minute video, so hopefully not too boring for you, but that's just an overview of my trophy truck. I'll try and, this has taken months to do this little bit, so this next couple of videos I'm really going to speed through it and get a working prototype, and then build a few more and make them better and better. So yeah, if you like the look of this and if you want to keep track of the videos, you know what to do. Alright, till next time.